Welcome. We are glimpsing and imbibing values features of the format of VMS&T parallel to happening within rays of the sun. Today we are at the third pillar of features focus as Brahm and of TC value 42. At the previous two phases, we were at the source reservoir pillars Surya Rashmi and Purusha Satta. The end reach of this chase will take us to Kram Samapti. It is by being through these four phases of Surya Rashmi, Purusha Satta, Brahmand and Karam Samapti, we will be imbibing the glimpse of the values and features of the format of Vedic mathematics, science and technology parallel to happening within rays of the sun. The formulation Brahmand leads us to TC value 28 and 14 of summation value 42, and value 42 accepts an organization 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 12, which is parallel to the boundary components of hypercubes 1 to 6. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12 are the boundary components of hypercubes 1 to 6. Further, value 42 is equal to 21 plus 21, and we know that value 21 is of organization 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, and it is parallel to the organization format of hypercube 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, means we are at the domain folds of Sthapatya miring rod, and it accepts a pairing format. Therefore, the pairing format of the Sthapatya miring rod and the reach at the boundary folds are two distinct features. Further, value 42 is equal to the synthesis value of the pair of transcendence ranges of spatial order. These three features as such will help us comprehend the formulation Brahmand and the geometric format beneath. The value 14 and 28 accept a sequential organization 1 into 14 and 2 into 14. Further, we know that value 14 is equal to 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, parallel to fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 4, the representative regular body of 4 space presided by Lord Brahma with the TCV value 29, which is equal to 2 into 14 plus 1. As such, these are the 29 versions of hypercube 14. It is this reach from hypercube 4 to hypercube 14 which deserves to be comprehended, and it is this feature which will help us further appreciate that the 29 points range will lead us to 28 gaps. So the 29 points range is leading us to 28 gaps. Therefore, Brahma with the TC value 29 and Brahm of TC value 28 will help us comprehend and imbibe as that it is the Brahm stimulation at the gaps which is the creative power of the Brahma. The creative power of Lord Brahma, Creator the Supreme, the presiding deity of fourth space, is the impulses, spandan of Brahm. These are Sachetan consciousness impulses of eternity which are the creative power of the Lord Brahma. Therefore, they reach from the Creator's space and having resulting into the Brahm Sachetan impulses Spandan becoming the creative power of Lord Brahma, Creator the Supreme. It is this reach which is the end reach, and this end reach is the Kram Samapti. Kram is of TC value 13 and Samapti is the TC value 26. The sequential organization for this pair of values is of the format 1 into 13 and 2 into 13. And we know that 13 are the gaps of the range of 14 points. It is here where we have to have a pause and have to revisit as that within four space, creators of space, the solids, cubes as the representative bodies of three space are having a degree of freedom of motion which manifests as the 13th edge. Further, we know that value 13 is equal to 2 into 6 plus 1 parallel to 13 geometries of hypercube 6 with 13 versions of hypercube 6 as the representative regular bodies of 6 space and 6 space with hypercube 6 as a body is a fourfold manifestation layer with 4 space in the role of dimension for 6 space as a domain. These features are simultaneously at play, and 4 space we know is a spatial order space, and within a surface we can have simultaneous parallel manifestation for the interval as well as for a square. So hypercube 1 and hypercube 2 simultaneously manifest within a surface. It is this format which becomes the format of a Kram Samapti, as we know that within creators of space, 4 space, linear order body, cube as hypercube 3, the representative regular body of linear order 3 space, is having a manifestation for the 13th edge. But we know that the spatial order space is 4 space, so the quadruple spatial dimensions are available. So this manifestation of the 13th edge in fact is a manifestation within a surface within two space body, as two space is playing the role of a dimension here. As such, this manifestation is the manifestation which is of a pair of limbs parallel to the format of the pair of axes, and it will lead us to value 13 and 13, making it a value 26. It is here where we have to have a pause and have to revisit the spatial order, means two space playing the role of a dimension. So it is 2 as 1 and 1 as 2 are the pair of features, pair of Meyers, pair of processing steps which are available in 4 space. In a linear order space, 3 space, a linear order mathematics is a mathematics where 1 as 1 is the only unit, only working processing steps. However, in 4 space, there is a spatial order, and the spatial order means two space is playing the role of a dimension. So within a surface, we can have a single axis and we will have the pair of axes both available independently, parallelly, simultaneously, as well as complementary and supplementary of each other. Therefore, 2 as 1 and 1 as 2 are the pair of units available. The mathematics of 4 space is the mathematics of a spatial order. So here the working units are 2 as 1 and 1 as 2. This is a mathematics of 4 space where the pair of units are available and the effective working unit becomes half. In a linear order 3 space mathematics, 1 is the working unit. However, in 4 space, there are pair of processing steps simultaneously available as complementary and supplementary of each other, and it leads to the 1 over 2, that means half, as the effective working unit. One can have a pause here. And let us see that the mathematics, Vedic mathematics, the mathematics of the Ganita Sutras, with Sutra 1 is 1 more than 1. So from 1 we reach to 2, and sequentially we reach at 3, 4 and so on. It is this reach which will help us appreciate that the reach from 1 to 2 is of cumulative value 1, 2 to 3 as well is of a cumulative value 1, and like that at each step we are having a single value unit as the processing steps. However, we know that if we are working say as 1 over 2, then if we reach at 2 over 3, then we reach at 3 over 4, and simultaneously go on increasing, then we'll reach at n over n plus 1, which is equal to 1 plus 1 over n, and with n at infinity, the end reach value will be 1. So starting with half, we will be reaching at 1. Starting with half, we will be reaching at 1. So see the other way around. We start with 2 over 1, then 3 over 2, 4 over 3, and n plus 1 over n, which gives us 1 plus 1 over n. With n as infinity, it will reach at 1. So we are reaching from 2 to 1. It is this sequential progression phenomenon. It is this working upon a 4 space of a spatial order which is providing us simultaneously a pair of working units, 2 as 1 and 1 as 2, and effective working unit becomes half. And when we reach from half to 2 over 3, so on, we ultimately reach at 1. However, in the reverse, when we are starting with 2 over 1 to 3 over 2 and so on, we will be reaching at again at 1. So it is this reach, that half to 1 and 2 to 1. Therefore, 1 as 2. So this feature, it is this reach within force space which is simultaneously available. It is this availability of the pair of working units 2 as 1 and 1 as 2 which deserves to be comprehended well. Sadhakas shall sit comfortably and permit the transcending mind to be face to face with this distinguishing feature of the mathematics, science and technology of force space over mathematics, science and technology of 3 space. 3 space is a linear order space. Being a linear order space, it has only working unit 1 as a 1. However, 4 space is a spatial order space. Being a spatial order space, it has a pair of working units. And this pair of working units are 2 as 1 and 1 as 2. Both together as complementary and supplementary lead us to the working unit as half. Now, when we start with half and like that we go on progressing, at the end reach we will be having a value 1 over 1. Now it is this reach of 1 over 1 which is equal to 1, and in the reverse order, when we are starting with 2 over 1 and reach, we will reach at 1. Therefore, it is this reach that from 1.5 we are reaching at 1, from 2 we are reaching at 1. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this format, it is this distinguishing format of the mathematics of 4 space over the mathematics of 3 space which deserves to be comprehended well, and it is by its comprehension we will be in a position to appreciate the Brahman, the value 42, the spatial order creators of space, or creators of space is a space with 2 space in the role of a dimension. We can have a pause and we can see that Lord Brahma is a 4-head Lord, and each head is equipped with a pair of eyes. It is this feature of the idol of Lord Brahma, it is this feature of 4 space, it is this feature of the spatial order which deserves to be comprehended well. It is by comprehending this particular feature we will be comprehending the Brahman, and it is with this when we will be approaching Purusha, which is of value 24, and when 2 is as 1, but when 1 will become 2, it will become value 48. Therefore, for a reach, for a Purusha from value 24 to value 28, we have to approach it as Brahman. Therefore, the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be face to face with the format, features and values of Vedic mathematics, science and technology parallel to happening within rays of the sun have to approach the linear order setup 1 as a 1, 2 we have to reach at 2 as 1, and further 1 as 2. It is this change, it is this shift, it is this transition, it is this reach which is going to be the index of the enlightenment, index of the proper glimpsing, proper insight of the sadhakas of the Vedic mathematics, science and technology. Vedic mathematics, science and technology is the technology of a creator's of space. 4 space is the creator's of space. 2 space plays the role of dimension of a 4 space. 2 space in the role of a dimension will provide us a format that within a surface there will be a simultaneous manifestation for the interval as well as for the square. This simultaneous availability, simultaneous manifestation of internal and square as independent phased manifestation. So first phase of manifestation is of a linear order and second phase of manifestation is a spatial order. Both are manifesting simultaneously. As both are manifesting simultaneously, therefore we reach at domain boundary ratios. So this simultaneous availability, it is this setup which will help us appreciate how at the boundary we are having value 42 and how the repeated application vriddhi along the domains. So having a repeated steps, repeated application means reaching from A to A plus A and reaching from A to E 1 to 2 and reaching from 1 plus 1. Now it is a vriddhi. Now it is this elongation, it is this progression which is to be comprehended distinctively for the distinct features available in this chase along the spatial dimensional order format. Let us sit comfortably and let us now put to ourselves as to how far we are face to face with the distinguishing features of the linear order mathematics of 3 space to the spatial order mathematics of a 4 space. We have to transit from linear order mathematics of 3 space to the spatial order mathematics of a 4 space. It is with this transition, it is with this attainment, it is with this reach that we will be having a reach at the format of Vedic mathematics, science and technology parallel to the happening within rays of the sun. For it, we have to now put to ourselves that how these pure values of the format of Vedic mathematics, science and technology are being actually exploited, applied, chased, availed by the Vedic systems. Means now we want to be face to face with the glimpses of attainment of Vedic mathematics, science and technology. Let us sit comfortably, let us open a new page, let us mention that now we want to glimpse the Vedic mathematics, science and technology in its applied form. For it, the initiation point is the formulation Kram Samapti. For this Kram Samapti, we have to be at this sheet which will lead us to value 13 and 26, and it will further lead us to a formulation of a surface permitting interval and square both manifesting simultaneously, independently, as complementary and supplementary, as parallel, as phased progression within the surface itself. Once we are at this comprehension, once we are at this particular format, then we have to reach to the Patanjali Yoga Darshan, Pada 4, Sutras 432 and 433. These are the pair of sutras of the Yoga Darshan. In terms of it, we can be face to face with, we can comprehend, we can imbibe the value of this working rule, this format, this mathematics, this technology. Now values, features and format of the formulation Kram Samapti. First of all, let us see that this term Kram Samapti is part of the text of Sutra 4.32 of Patanjali Yoga Darshan. Now, Kram Samapti is a formulation, it is a format. Now, to appreciate that, let us chase this particular text. It is Tat, then it is Krit, then it is Arthanam, then it is Parinam, it is Kram, it is Samapti, and it is Gunanam. These formulations deserve to be chased sequentially and in very gentle steps. In the sequential steps, we have to reach from Tat to Krit. We have to reach at Krit, then to reach at Arth, and it is Parinam, then Karam, then Samapti, then Gunanam. These formulations deserve to be chased before we can reach at the working rule processing steps. Now, working rule processing steps of this formulation Kram Samapti are well preserved here. The full enlightenment is there in this particular sutra. A step ahead to have a proper appreciation of the Kram. So basic formulation Kram is further elaborated, explained in the Sutra 4.33. It is Khyana Pratiyogi, Khyana Pratiyogi, Parinam, Aprant, Nirgrahe, Kram. So definition of Kram is preserved here. So the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of virtue to reach at the working processing steps of Kram Samapti shall first of all appreciate the format of the values and features of Kram Samapti as are preserved here, elaborated here in Sutra 4.32, and then for its proper appreciation, let us reach at the formulation Khyana. Now, Kram and Khyana are the pair of formulations. See, the formulation Kram is of TC value 13 and formulation Khyana is of TC value 16. See, it is parallel to the format of 13 Ganita Sutras and it is formulation of 16 Ganita Sutras. As such, to have a full comprehension and for proper appreciation and to have an appropriate enlightenment about the working processing steps of Kram Samapti, we have to be through the preservations of 432 and 433 Sutras of Patanjali Yoga Darshan, and here we have to reach at the pair of formulations Kram and Khyana, which are of Pali value 13 and 16, and we know 13 plus 16 is equal to 29. Now, to have a proper appreciation further, we shall see how the values 1 to 16 as these are, when are reached at their factors, we see it will give us 1 factor, 1 factor, 1 factor, 2 factors, 4 factors, and ultimately we see the total factors of this range are 29. This values range 1 to 16 is leading to yielding 29 factors, means value 13 is being flowing out of value 16. This is the reason why the 16 are the sutras and 13s are the upsutras. Now, these upsutras, these auxiliary values are there because of value 29 as factors, where value 13 is in addition to the value 16. Still further, value 16 is equal to 2 raised to power 4, which is parallel to the spatial dimensional order frame of 4 space. So it is the creator's space which is of a spatial dimensional order of value 16. Therefore, the 16 Ganita Sutras become Khyana. Khyana means a movement. Now it is the smallest impulse period. These smallest impulse periods, this is the smallest unit of a time. Now it is complete in itself. The whole time unit is a complete in itself, and every avyav component of this time unit as a kyan as well is complete in itself. How this whole and part are simultaneously complete in themselves. So it is this Vyasti Samesti rule, Vyasti Samesti rule of the Ganita Sutras, which will help us ultimately appreciate that the what are the values, what are the features of the format of the formulation Kram Samapti. From here we have to reach at the way we are reaching at the factors from 1 to 16. Here we are not taking 1 as a factor of itself. Therefore, 1 itself is taken as 1. So 2 as well is taken as 1 unit, 3 is taken as 1 unit, and 4 is taken as 2 units. But if 1 is taken as a unit, then we will transit and transform in a Kram Samapti. First we are at a single axis, and thereafter we will be at pair of axes. So it is this simultaneous availability of a single axis and the pair axis format which is going to lead us to 1 itself having a split as 1 cross 1, leading us to value 2. So 2 as well give us 1 cross 2, there will be 2 factors. 3 will lead us to 1 into 3, 2 factors, and 4 will lead us to 1 into 2 as 3 factors. It is here where we have to be conscious as to how the initially when we are having only 1 factor, 1 factor and 1 factor, and here we are having 2 factors, making it in all 5 factors. But when the 1 as well is taken as a factor, means for a spatial dimensional, the first axis itself is taken as of independent existence, though it is integrating with the second axis, making it a dimensional frame for a 2 space. So 1, the first axis as an independent existence, and first axis together with the second axis integrating with the second axis, making it a surface, and then it is going to be second phase of the manifestation. So the first axis is having a dual role, firstly as a single axis, independent axis, complete domain, making it 1 space. Then this first axis is integrating together with the second axis and making an 2 space frame and leading us to a spatial body. It is this feature, it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well, and as such it will be going to be a blissful exercise that we shall reach at the factors of the values range 1 to 33 and see that this 1 as a factor when also is taken at 33, we will be reaching at the total factors being 101, and this value 101 is a very valuable value. It is of great features and leads us to a very powerful format, and it is the format of 101 branches of a Yajurved. As we have seen that initially with the Sthapatya miring rod we were reaching at the value 26, value 21, which are the values of the 21 branches of a Rig Veda. However, here we are now reaching at the value 101, which is the format of the 101 branches of a Yajur Veda. And further we know that when we are reaching from 6 space to a 7 space, then we will be reaching from Surya to Dhruv, and this reach from the initial format of a Panchmabhut will be sequentially leading us to value 101. So we have to appreciate, we have to comprehend, we have to imbibe, we have to be face to face with that for having a chase of the applied values of the format of Vedic mathematics, science and technology parallel to happening with the rays of the sun, then we have to reach at a spatial format, a two-dimensional frame, by giving proper attention value to the first axis and the first axis together with the second axis. Both phases of progression are to be availed. When we will be reaching at this feature, we will see that value 1 to 33 gives us 101, and value 33 we know is the value of the geometric format of a three-dimensional frame with a split into a pair of three-dimensional frames of half dimensions. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this phenomenon which is the distinguishing feature, distinguishing phenomenon of happening within rays of the sun. And for it we can be appreciative that how the dimensional frames split. Then let us have a focus upon the setup of a cube, a representative regular body of a 3 space, and see that in each of the corner points is embedded a three-dimensional frame of half dimensions. So the working format is a three-dimensional frame of half dimensions. That means it is when we are taking Triya as of value 8, and we are taking 8 as well of value 8, when we are taking 1 as a 3, that means within 4 space our unit will be 2 as 1 and 1 as a 2, and this unit 1 as a 2 will help us appreciate how the three-dimensional frame splits into a pair of three-dimensional frames, and this setup gives us value 33. Further we know that 33 square is equal to, and this value 31 square gives us value 961. It is here where we will be appreciating that this value is 6 less than the TC values of Ganita Sutras, and this value is 3 more than the TCV values of Ganita Sutras. Therefore, when we are towards this side, means -1, and when we are this side +1, then we see here we will be getting value -3, and here we will be getting value 6. This is the script form 3 and a 6. It is this way that we are sequentially reaching at how the format of a Karma Samapti in fact in its effective steps is to be chased. We will coming to these details when we will be coming in the next session of the glimpses of the VMS&T. But here let us have a pause and go a step ahead and see that the happening within the rays of the sun is Ushma, Jyoti, Tej, Agni, Prakash, and it is all happening as a Surya Ank, and it leads us to value 101. Still further, we have to be face to face with the feature as that the Vedic systems are having a parallel Yoga Nishtha and Sankhya Nishtha. Yoga Nishtha is of value 34, and value 34 we know is equal to 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 which is parallel to fourfold manifestation layer 7, 8, 9, 10, and it is hypercube 9, and it is of 19 versions. These are the 19 versions which as 19, 20, 21, 22 will be leading us to 22 as an origin. It will become a Sankhya-nishtha, reaching at Sankhya-nishtha parallel to the Yoga-nishtha with value 22 as of 4, 5, 6, 7 of the fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 6. So reaching from hypercube 6 to hypercube 9 with 9 space as the origin, 6 space as a dimension. It is this way that we are to be face to face with the format of VMS&T parallel to the format of happening within rays of the sun, and it ultimately culminates into the end reach formulation Kram Samapti, and this Kram Samapti is the end reach for a transition from the linear order of 3 space setup to a spatial order of 4 space creators the space. So the transition from a linear order to spatial order is going to be a transition from 1 space in the role of dimension to 2 space in the role of dimension, and as 2 space is having a dimensional frame of a pair of axes, there the first axis is in independently creating a linear order, but the first axis together with the second axis is also creating a spatial order. Therefore, it is a dual role of the first axis. First axis independently as a linear order setup of 1 space, and first axis together with the second axis is making a spatial order. It is this simultaneous pair of phased progression of availability of the first axis as independently available axis and first axis together with second axis as a synthetic setup of the next phase. It makes a Kram Samapti. It is this Kram Samapti rule which is the end reach rule for the mathematics of creator's space for space. Sadhkas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to see how the Vedic mathematics comes to the rescue of the restrictions and limitations of being faced by the modern mathematics, then they shall begin afresh, starting with the formulation Kram Samapti as of values and features preserved in Sutras 4.32 and 4.33 of Patanjali Yoga Darshan, and with it we will proceed and we will see how and why the modern mind is held up at the Goldbach theorem, and how the modern mind which is held up for not becoming in their axioms sight to have a transition from a linear order dimension to spatial dimensions. We will be beginning from the next session for the glimpses of attainments of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, and way the Vedic mathematics, science and technology is going to be helpful to the modern mind to transcend through their limitations, how we can melt the mental state created because of a linear order, and we can transit into a spatial order, and we can be parallel to the values, features and format of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, parallel to happening within rays of the sun. Thank you very much.